Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. Today I want to showcase a build that I'm enjoying a lot in the past days, which is the Rage Vortex Berserker. And oh boy, like I remember when I watched the show, the footage of the release or the trailer more or less for 315, the new gems, the 19 new gems, support and active skill gems. And the first thing that really caught my mind was like Forbidden Rite, which our league started with. But when it comes to Rage Vortex, I was like, yeah, that looks slow. That looks weird. You can only have one of these available, and it wasn't really that great. But now after testing it, I've got to say, dude, this is probably the future of melee builds. This build is insane. I really, really like to play it. It's super fast. It has really good clear speed. You can one-tap bosses with the right setup. And it's big. It's massive. Look at the size of my Rage Vortex. Isn't that like...
I cannot do this yet.
Big? It's actually really big, and I really like the MTX that I'm running here as well. This guy is straight out of hell, man. And yo, this build, as I said, Rage Vortex. What is the skill? How does it look like? How does it work? I would say first map showcase, and then I'm gonna talk about the build in the current state. The current investment, since a lot of people might ask, like, how much did you invest into your build? I would say around about 15 to 20x is what I currently have invested, basically, right? The most expensive item was the Bear's Girdle, which is basically a belt for like maximum rage. And after I got this, and after I'm playing this on stream, this belt went from 4x, so at the moment 7x. Before that, somebody bought all the Bear's Girdle and put them in for 18x, so at least some more are now available, but they are like spiking. But this is the most expensive part of the build. My weapon currently is a 380 DPS, so nothing too crazy either. The rest, like life resistance items, nothing too fancy. Gonna go over the gear a little bit later. And we are currently on Awakener level 7, so I have to farm like 4 more Conquerors for the last 4 Watchstones, and then I'm finally done with my league start after like 12 days, which is super slow. But hey, I had a rough start, like always, and yeah, this is the current build. We're gonna run a tier 15 map here on Awakener 7, so you get an idea how this build looks like, how does it play like, and then we're gonna talk about why is it the way it works, or how is it, how it works basically, and what is the scaling and so on. So basically, keep up your rage, and then you're gonna spam those massively big freaking Rage Vortex. And they actually do a shit ton of damage, I'm not gonna lie. As I said before, they have a ridiculous attack speed. With my current version, which is not the proper setup, I'm gonna talk about the POV in a bit, because I think I'm still using the wrong gems. After now investing heavily into Rage, I should actually be using the Rage support and multi-strike. Because I POV'd it with like an Awakened multi-strike, you can get up to like almost 30 attacks per second with this thing. So it has like an insane activity rate. And if you like pull your rage up, I'm gonna show you later on how to do that for bosses, for example. So you really have a rage storm with like 110 rage, and then basically a certain amount gets sacrificed. This thing does like almost 5 million DPS with my 300 DPS weapon, right? It's ridiculous. It's fast. We have like almost permanent Berserk up, the rage sustain through the red blade banner, and 3 war cries, with now the enduring cry, which is actually my endurance charges and stuff. And yeah, maybe people are now instantly like, yo, why don't you play with an Abyssus, which is like insanely strong for the helmet? This is true, but I want to make a tanky build. I want to make a build that has like maybe over 8,000 life, maybe like 8 or 9 endurance charges. I want to go for Divine Flesh in later stages. I have none of those yet, but I'm working on the build, right? And I think this build might be a contender for doing 100% Delirious as a melee Berserker, right? And I cannot stress enough how much I actually enjoy this build. And my first build, from the Forbidden Rite self-cast, it didn't turn out well. Then going over the Fire Burst, it has like 400k DPS with like 10x investment, which felt like super clunky. Oh shit. Okay, I was not lagging, okay? I was just leveling up gems. I didn't saw that I had the bleeding or some shit. Well, happens. I was leveling gems. So, my gems are now turning level 20. I have no Awakened gems whatsoever, no Watcher's Eye, so I'm really thinking that I'm playing this one on a budget. And so far, Cyrus, Awakener 7, Conquerors, etc. were absolutely no problem, and yeah. I can definitely recommend checking this build out. It's not that bad when it comes to the play style. Wait, is there a boss somewhere? Yeah, there was a boss. Okay, never mind. It's dead. Because the Rage Vortex is just so big. So sometimes you don't even see bosses and they're actually just dying in the Rage Vortex. As I was saying, the questions that I get often on stream would be, how does it feel like to play this build? How often do you check your rage count? How often do you have to like war cry and stuff like that? And the thing is, if I'm honest to you, I never check my rage count. The reason for that is, I see how big my Rage Vortex is, you know, and the more rage I have when I cast it, basically, the bigger the circle will get. So if I'm having like 70 rage now, you're gonna see that the circle is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And when I war cry, the 110 is like a lot bigger than it used to, right? What is this degen? Just blood rage? Holy freak. So that basically means I just like randomly like keep my war cries up, not even counting on how many exerted attacks I still have left over. And when I see that the circle is going smaller and smaller, then I just re-war cry and then I have the big circle again, right? And since we're using the Red Blade banner with the Berserker Ascendancy, as soon as I'm below 24 rage, I get instantly up to maximum rage once I war cried. And that's why it's quite easy to sustain or maintain your rage, and there is other versions to do that, as we said on the last video, where you can kind of automate this process. But I think like this self-cast version at the moment is stronger. And with at the moment, I mean the other version will probably never be stronger. But the big difference is once you have enough gear, you don't really need your to min-max your playstyle anymore to get like really good DPS, right? Like 380 DPS weapon, I'm running like 5 mil Saras DPS is pretty good, I would say. And it seems like it's like a kind of endless scaling when it comes to that. So that should be the last one. Then we're gonna do the leak mechanic, and then we're gonna talk about the build overall. So, is there any like good items that we can get over here? Reroll? Stack deck? Big? Nothing. Yikes. Other than that, dude, I don't know, like just take anything, whatever. So, leak mechanic real quick. That should be fine. That should be fine. That no, not dodge. Dodge is bad. Against cold is fine. This is like some enrage. That should be fine. As long as there is no dodge, block, or something like that. So, based on the league mechanic, it's actually pretty easy because your circle covers the entire rage. It's the same with Harvest. Like, when you just loot your stuff, you know, and then you drop your rage naturally just because of Berserk, and you just war cry right below 24 rage, then you have like this super massive circle, and it will just like demolish the entire screen. You're just gonna send it over where these where the monsters were, and this is basically already cleared. Good, another stack deck. Let's go. God damn it, debated. So as you saw for the map showcase, it's pretty good. It's pretty fast as well for Delph. I think for Delph it's like pretty cool too. We could do that real quick as well. And then I'm gonna briefly talk about the things that I invested and how I put my build together, because this is not the end part, right? I think this can get a lot better than it actually is at the moment. So I want to talk about the mechanic and how it's working and how we get so much rage and how the skill is working. Because the rest is like life resistance items, nothing too fancy. Path of Build link, as always, in the description below. So, for Delph, it just like shoot down your like big beam and then just fall along. This is Delph 168, which is monster level 82, so almost like red tier maps, tier 15 or something. And it just actually, it's just insane. I don't know what else to say than just saying that it is very fun to play and very engaging and a lot less clunky than I actually thought it's going to be. So let's clear out the rest here. That's pretty much it. Anything else here? Crap. More shit. Nope. Good. Go back to Hideout. Let's see what this build is about. How does it work? So, as I said, Rage Vortex, the new skill gem. How does this one work? Basically, you sacrifice 20 rage to generate this Rage Storm. So, if you don't have rage, like now, you know, it doesn't deal anything, right? So, it sacrifices 20 rage, or with the Helm enchant, it sacrifices +5, so 25 rage. That means if I have a maximum of 110 rage, then times 0.25, that means it sacrifices 27 rage per cast. And this, then I get the bonus, then I get radius per rage sacrifice, more damage per rage sacrifice. So if I do this times 5, no wait, 27 times 5, I get like 137% more damage on this skill. And basically divided, multiplied by 2, like 55 radius, if I count, if I have this correct. Like 1 radius per 2 sacrificed. We sacrifice, no wait, we sacrifice 27, so that's divided by 2. So we get like a 13 radius on top of that. Other than that, Rage Storm hits 250% more frequently. And I have the alternate quality, which has an increased speed. So that's why the circle is that big and moves that fast. And to be honest, I did not invest a lot into AoE. So if we take the skill tree, no AoE over here, no AoE over here. The only thing that I have is a crafted increased area of effect, and the rest pulverize, which is a support gem, which is like the kind of increased AoE support gem for melee skills, but it also has like more area damage. And I'm actually thinking of, I could trade this one against a conk effect, for example, that would give a lot more DPS. So now you know how this works with the rage. Basically, how does it get so big? How does it do so much damage? And how does it scale? So 27 rage per use, and this is based on your maximum range. So rage. So if you don't have any investment, and we say you have 50 rage, which is the normal kind of rage that you have, and then you have like times 5. No, wait. God damn it, dude. 5% more damage per 1 rage sacrificed. So, we have 50 rage, and you only sacrifice 20% without the helmet enchant. It would be 10, okay? And that means 50% more damage, and my version is like over 130% more damage, right? Good. Next thing, how do we get rage? So, the easy trick is with the Red Blade banner and the Warbringer node, which says grants 10 rage per 5 power if you have less than 25 rage, and Warcry sacrifice rage if you have over 25 rage, and you have increased damage or more damage with Warcries with your exerted attacks, basically, if you use a Warcry. And the thing is, Warcries have infinite power. That means normally every monster hit, let's see, these two are monsters, and I hit both of them, that's 10 power. And 10 power would then be 20 rage, which is bad, because 20 rage, you know, that's like almost nothing. And the Red Blade banner says Walkers have infinite power. That means you will always have the maximum. So if I Enduring Cry, I will instantly get my 6 Endurance charges. If I use like a Rallying Cry, I get my more damage. If I get my Intimidating Cry, it's always the maximum amount of damage that I get through this Red Blade banner, and this is kind of insane. The other versions is a two-handed version with like this one belt, which is like the Chains of Emancipation together with the Rot Blood Promise to then auto like activate temp chains and deactivate, but I think this is like super clunky. And the other version of Sustaining Rage I made in the last or in the previous video if you want to check that out, but this version is with a Red Blade banner. So Warcries have infinite power every time you Warcry, and if you're below 25 rage, then you instantly get up to 100, and that basically just like spam your skills. You have Berserker running, oh, I'm below 25, I'm Warcry again, I have maximum rage, Warcry again, Warcry again. You know, exerted attacks, and you see it is absolutely no problem getting massive amounts of rage sustain, and it's just very cool and easy to play. For the weapon, I choose to go with the Psychotic Axe, which is heist experimental base, which gives you 10 maximum rage, just for the fact that it has 10 maximum rage, okay? A Siege Axe would have the better DPS, because it's like, I think, faster and more base damage or something like that, but I want to get the maximum rage scaling. So, how do I actually get to 110 rage, you might think? And it's basically not that hard. In one hand, we have 50 base rage, right? Then we get +5 from the Replica Conqueror's Potency, which is this jewel over here. They shouldn't be too expensive. I think they were like 25C or something when I bought it. Yeah, it's still 25C, so that's not any big. So we are at 55, then we get 10 from our Berserk Crave the Slaughter, so +10 with Crave the Slaughter. Then we get 10 max rage from Berserking, which is on a tree, so plus 10 with Berserking. That gives us to 75 rage. Then we have another 10 from my weapon now, so plus 10 from the psychotic. What is it? Psychotic Axe. Then we get plus 20 from the Beer's Girdle. Girdle? Is it Girdle? Girdle? Girdle, yeah. Which is the belt here. And you also get 7% increased physical damage per 10 rage. So if I'm 110 rage, then it's like, you know, 77% increased physical damage. And physical damage to attacks and nearby enemies are crushed if you have at least 25 rage, which with this build you always have. Makes it up to 105. And I'm actually... Do I miss something? 50 base. Then we have 125 over here. Makes it 75. The axe, the burst, the girdle. Where do I have a plus 5 rage? I'm missing like 5 rage somewhere. Oh yeah, I have this one here, the Hatchet Master, which I use with the Thread of Hope to gather all these cool notes. Is like increased attack speed, accuracy rating. Here the Hatchet Master plus 5 max rage. So we're just gonna write it down here. Plus 5. From the Hatchet Master. This is only for X's. And this gets us down to 110 maximum rage. And there is actually another version. I think it's the Rigwald's... There is an X. Where is it? Rigwald's something. Rigwald's Command? No, the other one. Savagery. So this is Rigwald's Savagery gives you 25 maximum rage when wielding a sword, so you need to dual wield it. But since I say that the shield is mandatory for this build to make it actually work, we skip that. But with this one, I would actually get up to 125 rage, and while dual wielding the Psychotic Axe, I would get to 120 rage. But 110, I think, as far as I know, is the maximum, and I think this is like super nice to play with this just because of the massive AoE, the damage, and so on. But this is just my take on the build. I don't know if this is the best version to play it. Use with, yeah, with care or whatever. Good. So we talked about the rage, the scaling. So let's talk about links real quick. I have Herald of Purity, Blood and Sand, Blood Rage, Pride, Dread Banner, Precision, Leap. So these are my auras basically, the ones that were here, all the 5, and we can reserve everything because our build doesn't use mana. The skill itself uses life, so Rage Vortex does cost life to cast, and the other ones, whether it's like all my cries, Berserk, Blood Rage, Leap Slam, War Chief, everything I have is running with life tap support, so I don't spend any mana, I don't need that. So, and for life, it's just like Enduring Cry, it's even better than the Life Flask. Other than that, here my links, Rage Vortex with Impale, Fortify, Brutality, Malefice, and Pulverize, where I'm thinking like, this is not the best way to do it. I think the best way would be Rage Vortex, Fortify, Brutality, Malefice, and then I would say Rage Support and Multi-Strike would be the 2 that I would probably sub in. I'm not sure, like, the Awakened Gems are better. Like, Awakened Malefice gives you, like, Intimidate and stuff. Awakened Brutality. Fortify I would always let in just because of the layer of defense, and we can also take all the Fortify notes on the bottom, so better is just to try it out. But I'm actually playing with the mind, or at least the mindset that I'm switching to Multi-Strike and Rage Support, but I don't know what I'm going to put out there for. Other items, just high physical damage, attack speed, crit, whatever you can get. Helmet, you can take the, what's it? Abyssal thing? God. Yeah, this shit helm where you take more fizz damage and you do more fizz damage and stuff like that, you know, the one for Berserks, basically. And it triggers me that if I don't get it, man. It's on my tongue, dude. Shit helm. I need to Google this, man. Helm PoE, dude. It wasn't Abyssal, it was, It triggers me, man. Abyssus! Why do I think about Abyssal? And I'm like, no, Abyssal is not the name. Abyssus. I was so close, dude. Okay, I mean, like, you can use an Abyss, it gives you insane amounts of damage, but I really want to make a tanky version out of it. I'm currently level 92, so the next levels would all go in life, and I actually think that at some point I will have, like, over 200% increased life from 3 with, like, maximum endurance charge stacking just for the physical damage mitigation and the regen and all that kind of things. And I think this is, like, the better, because I think we have enough damage at the end. Amulet, life resistance, crit multi, whatever you can find. Rings the same, life resistance, accuracy, life resistance, life resistance. Here I bought the cheapest vulnerability on hit ring that I could find with a little bit of life, even multiplier. I think it was like 75 chaos or something. It's, as I said, the items don't really matter too much. The path of building is in the description below, but there is nothing like insanely expensive. The gloves, even though they have like shit tons of life resistance, was like 1.5 exalts. The boots were 2 exalts. The belt was 5 exalts. The chest, I think, was 40 chaos because it's corrupted. It's just life resistance. The rings, I think this was like 75 chaos. This was like maybe 50 chaos. The amulet I got pretty cheap for like 2x. This one, the base was like 70 chaos. I self-crafted this with spamming jack fossils. The helmet, the base I bought for 1 exalt with the enchant, and this was just the first alchemy with life resistance, what I kept. Red Blade banner, I think is like 10 chaos maybe. Yeah, it's 10 chaos. So nothing too hefty over here, right? When it comes to the skill tree, here a medium, no wait, it is a large Thread of Hope, and then we use Hatchet, Panopticon, then we have Swift Skewering, Harvest of Foes, and here the Art of Gladiator, like super valuable over here. For when it comes to cluster jewels, I don't really find anything, or I didn't really look into it too much. Maybe there is some nice cluster jewels, but the one that I really want to get is Lead by Example, which is when you Warcry, you and nearby allies get Onslaught for 4 seconds, and dude, we are always Warcrying around, right? So Warcry is mandatory for the build because you need your rage, so you will always gonna have Onslaught, which is super nice. Other than that, this one is pretty nice with a double multi-attack speed life, so I would say life, resistance, multiplier, whatever you need basically to make your build working. But when it comes to damage, attack speed multiplier is what you want to go for. Or you could play this one as a resolute technique. But one thing I noticed with the new patch, since the diamond flask doesn't give your crit strike chances lucky anymore and stuff, like I'm having a crit build, right? And I'm currently running 30% crit strike chance. 30%, you know, and this is with a diamond flask, so it's not looking good at the moment. So that's why I definitely want to get a chest with like Elder influenced base crit, elevated in the best case scenario with 2% base crit, maybe power charges on crit, something that just ups my crit strike chance. And with the tree, I might be able to get like somewhere like 50%, 60%. You know, the Battle of Faith got nerfed. Like, we're gonna see how the crit version turns out, but I think like the damage is plenty even on my version. As I said, I'm already doing all the content. And since I've done Cortex now and all the Conquerors up to this point, plus Cyrus, Awakener 8 will not change anything, right? It's probably going to be a little bit more spicy, but I don't think that this build will have any troubles in the current version. And the items that I just mentioned would be the ones that I would go for to make the build even tankier, more DPS, more survivability, everything, right? And yeah, so for the MTX, since I know a lot of people will ask, the Colossus Sword, this is something really fancy because if you have any other sword or weapon, right, this is just a normal circle. Or a big normal circle. But if you have the Colossus Sword, it leaves those swirly things in the backside. So let me quickly remove my rage here. Like, you see there is like some swirly on the outside, and this only happens with the Colossus Sword, so it's just the best way. Then Demonic Weapon Effect, the Gore Skull Effect, Automaton Necrolord, Body Armor, Gloves, and Boots, Demonic Character Effect, Demonic Footprints, Demonic Weapon Effect on the shield as well as on the weapon, since we can now apply effects on the shield as well. Demonic Shield, then we have the Fiery Eyes, Dark Shard Helmet Effect, and the Demonon Stygian Portal Effect, the rest, Demonic Herald Effect, Sunrise Blood and Sand, Scavenger Blood Rage Effect, which makes it as burning. Like, this looks so freaking cool, doesn't it? Ah, I love it, man. And the rest, like, anything. Demonic everywhere, plus the Celestial Warcry effects. Good, I think that's it for today's video, just to go over what I'm currently playing. And as I said, I can just recommend trying this out. It's just so much fun, a lot of speed, and it's not really clunky at all. And even if it has a lot of buttons to press, I don't think it's bad at all. Like, I really like it. And now we'll just keep on grinding, getting the currency in, trying to make a better axe, because 380 DPS is not really too good. Already bought a new base, and now I'm just like buying fossils and trying to hit something really nice with jacked fossils, what we can do actually right now, because now we're gonna hit like some insane weapon. You guys ready for that? Wait, we're just gonna regal this one. Yo, that's not even a fizz mod. Wow. Yeah. Not gonna happen today, but hey, you know, the week is young. We have a lot more currency to stick into this build, and I'm really looking forward to put this build into the stage where I actually want to see it, because I think it's going to be just freaking amazing. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.